The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Red and gold on the edge of the sky, feel the rumble, hear the battle cry. Out in Ames where the storms ignite, we don't back down, we rise and fight. Jack Trice's his name, yeah, it echoes strong. A story of honor still marches on. Through the rain, through the pain, through the fire we roar. 'Cause we were built to thrive in the eye of the storm. Feel the ground shake, hear the crowd roar. Cyclone power, can't take no more. Legends rise, this is our norm. We stand tall in the eye of the storm. There's a cyclone blowing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Buildings rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. Feel the magic you can't deny. Rocket stars are taking off straight to the sky. Brick, big play, Kirby making history. When the moment gets tough, that's a cyclone way. Through the trenches, through the lane, through the heat, through the rain. When the storm comes blowing, we embrace the fight. 'Cause the cyclones strike when the time is right. Feel the cyclones strike when the time.
All right, welcome back to In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things cyclones. We are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company out of Osceola, Iowa, and styled by JJ Boutique in Johnston. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partner and Cyclone great, the legend himself, Marcus Pfizer. Marcus, good evening.
Good evening. Good
How are
Sunday
you?
evening.
It
Doing
is.
good,
Hey,
doing good.
but I should say quick before we get started too far. Thank you so much for those tickets to the Houston Rockets game. I was visiting for work and connected with you, and you connected with a near and dear friend to all of Cyclone Nation.
Yeah, big shout out to George. George Meehan. He's the one who made it happen. Of course, we would have loved to have seen him on the floor, but he said he's nursing, that semi-old guy foot, so he got to get it better. We understand that. But yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad I was able to help connect you guys, and he was able to, see a nice little NBA preseason game.
It was, yeah. And I brought the Iowa State flag, and so I was up there shaking it, and he looked up and down the bench and was pointing up, "Hey guys, look at that. Iowa State, we're all over the country." So that was pretty cool to see. He was excited
big shout
to
out
see
to
that.
George. Appreciate that.
Well, we will get to football, but first we get a chance to see the men's basketball team in their first of two exhibition games coming up on Friday night against Creighton at 7 p.m. And I believe that is at Creighton. I went online to see if I can find out where it's going to be played, and it took me to a link that looked like it was a Creighton site. So not sure if anyone will have a visual on that. Maybe some of the local media will have a chance to cover it and put some video out to show us kind of what that looked like. Again, it's an exhibition only. Means absolutely nothing, but against a high caliber program like Creighton, I think it's something we're all excited to see. So in preparation for that, we have a guest tonight, and he played for the Cyclones from 94 to 99, had that extra redshirt season that allowed him to play that fifth season, and was part of some really illustrious seasons with the Cyclones. And as our Marcus Pfizer can attest, had a mean set of elbows. played with guys like our co-host and also names you will all remember. Dedrick Willoughby, Kenny Pratt, Scott Bankhead, the pride of Winfield, Matt Union, and of course Ames, Iowa. Want to welcome on here to the show none other than Klay Edwards.
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We are so glad to have you with us, Klay. So tell us, just before the show, you and I were chatting just a little bit. Want to get caught up, and can you let us know what you've been doing since you left Iowa State and Ames?
Yeah, I'm back down in Southeast Iowa, living in Winfield. I work at a bank here in town. Raised 4 kids. I only got one left in high school now. He's a senior. And then spend my time coaching high school football and basketball.
Wow, living the dream. And your sons are all athletes, correct?
Yeah. So my oldest son plays football at Army. He did prep school last year, so he's a freshman, a plebe this year. And then my middle son is playing basketball at Western Illinois.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That is awesome. So you obviously played with Mr. Pfizer, and Marcus has told several stories throughout the years that we've been on this show that, those early years, it was a learning opportunity for him, that he came in highly touted as a McDonald's All-American, but it was guys like you that showed him how to be a professional.
Yeah. I'm sure it was probably coming in a little more physical than what he was used to, but we got a sneak peek at them. They had that huge, Marcus, I think it was your group that had that huge, like all-star high school all-star game that was in Ames, and because your class was gigantic that came in. So right away we could see, how talented he was coming in, and, us old guys, all the main guys, graduated, they were leaving. So it was a fight for every single spot. So, we weren't going to give anything away easy. So we had to fight and battle for our spots there. And it was competition every single day. With that big guy group that we had back then, it was legit. Like that, there was some big bodies in there, and everybody loved to bang.
Yep.
Name off, if you can, go back in the time back machine. Who are some of those players that made up those early seasons, and then kind of bridge between you came in what, 94?
So I actually came in as a true freshman. The year I redshirted was when Lauren and Fred and Hurl, Sean Jackson, James Hamilton, all those guys were there. So I was in Johnny's last recruiting class. Didn't get a chance to play for him, but I was in there. And then, once all those guys graduated and Coach Floyd brought in Cato, Pratt, Willoughby, Bankhead, JC was, a holdover. And then, so I had 2 years with those guys, and then Marcus's group came in, and we went through a lot of guys those final 2 years, but so I had a lot of teammates. We counted it up one time. It was just a ridiculous number.
Yeah, Brad Johnson was there too.
Yeah, Brad Mendenhall. Paris and Lee were, battling at guard there. And I think there's some talented guys, and there were some guys that didn't make it on campus that probably would have been Gerard Henderson, and a couple more Belifia, and Parks never actually got to play in Ames, but he was a dog. He would have locked people up. There were some dudes that we thought were with us too that just didn't pan out.
Well, and you're what, redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore seasons. Those were 2 NCAA tournament teams, right?
Right. Yep. So, the year I redshirted, we made NCAA tournament. I think we beat Florida. I was obviously in street clothes on the bench, but we beat Florida down in Tallahassee. I think they were defending national champs, and then we lost to Carolina. Rasheed Wallace, Stackhouse, that group. And then, the next year, I think we were probably picked dead last. I remember Jason Whitlock called us a bunch of vagabonds and just cast-offs and everything like that. So first Big 8 game, we went to K-State, and I think we just got absolutely trounced, and then found something after that and got really competitive, and made tournament. It was a good run.
And not just made the tournament, that was the season that the Cyclones won the big, was it still the Big 8?
The final Big 8,
Yep.
the last Big 8
Okay.
tournament, yeah. So forever Big 8 champs, right?
That's right. That's something.
Yeah.
Cannot take that away from your team.
No,
So, and that team was what, 24-9, and in conference was pretty, I think I wrote down 9-5, but
9-5,
ultimately you walked away with the Big 12 tournament championship and
yep.
parlayed that into the NCAA tournament where looks like you beat Cal, but then lost to Utah.
Utah, yeah. And that Utah team was loaded, Andre Miller, Keith Van Horn,
He's got horn. Yep.
the big Michael Doliak, those are all, three guys that spent a lot of time in the NBA.
Hey.
Two of them were probably all-stars at one point. So, but it was a fun ride.
Take a step back, if we could, Clay. You obviously had a very successful career at Winfield Mount Union, and were you in the same graduating class as Jess Settles, or was he?
Jess was a year older than me, so he graduated high school in ¡93. I was 94.
Okay, and then he ended up going to college for like 12 seasons, and you went the traditional.
Felt like it, but if it was today's day and age, like he'd probably still have 2 years eligibility. Yeah.
That's right. You might too.
Yeah.
What made you select Iowa State?
Really, probably Coach Orr, like just hitting it off with him, and the assistants were great too. I got along with all of them, but when Coach Orr was in your living room, and I grew up in Morning Sun, Iowa, chatting with my parents and me there, and his the guy that flew the plane, it was just like another father figure there with us. So my parents loved him. I loved him. And then, being in state was a big deal for me. So yeah, just his infectious attitude and the style of play. That was a big thing, the style of play. He got up and down the court, and I used to love to run and everything. And then when Coach Floyd came in, it was a absolute flip, right? We were playing in the 50s and 60s and grinding games out. So that was a little different, but back in the day, like loyalty and commitment were a huge thing. And, I had calls and stuff, and, people wanting to stash me at a JUCO for a year or whatever. But, once I made that commitment, I was sticking no matter what.
Nice.
We have a viewer here that's commented. I don't know if you know Chad, but apparently he wants to know who was the best rec player you faced.
He's wanting us to say it was him, but
Probably. That's my guess as well.
He's probably he's got the light on and up in Dubuque and on his driveway out shooting hoops right now.
I'm gonna say it's probably between him and Carl Cassell.
Carl, yeah.
Carl was pretty good too.
Yeah, they both could play.
So tell us about what it was like with the both of you going at it in practice. Marcus is coming in as that McDonald's All-American, the first that Iowa State had seen. Of course, but by that time you're a grizzled veteran. You've been around. Now you're on your second coach with Coach Floyd. What was it like to have a young pup like Marcus coming in and going off and practicing? Because you played essentially the same position, correct?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, pretty much. Maybe I was more of a 4/5, and Marcus could go outside. He could penetrate a lot better than I could. So, he could go 3, 4, 5, whatever we needed. But it was awesome, right? Like I think it made both of us better. I was never a high volume scorer. That junior year, when I think that would have been your freshman year, I probably was around 9 to 10 a game, which was my high for my career. But I was more of a rebounding and defensive guy. So, he comes in, he's just a natural scorer, right? Like big, strong, wide shoulders and can move people. So I thought we played off of each other pretty well. It wasn't like he wasn't selfish at all. He could have came in there as a McDonald's All-American and thought he needed the ball every single time and to score it nonstop. But, and Coach Floyd did a good job of, the main thing was we were trying to win games. So we played off of each other really well. I'd grab boards and let Marcus do his thing,
Well, for me, it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fun my freshman year as it may have been for you.
Coach was trying to prove a point at times. I know.
For me coming in, coming from a small town in Louisiana, people, one of the things that always, made me mad, it was like, well, man, why are you going to Iowa State? And I'm like, because I want to go to Iowa State. Like, that's one of the things that put a big chip on my shoulder, because I wanted to prove and be something different than what everybody, just assumed, you wanted to go to, like a Duke or Michigan or North Carolina. All that. I wanted to go somewhere totally different. So, being a McDonald's All-American coming in, I was young, had that little thinking, okay, I'm finna go in here and, people back home, man, you're going up there, with all those guys can't handle you. Those skinny white guys up there can't handle. Then I ran into a 245 Klay Edwards.
Yeah.
Those skinny elbows, and then Tony Rampton was throwing elbows, and
yeah,
I was like, okay,
and Tony's were sharp.
This is a little bit different than what people, told me it was going to be about. I thought I was going to come here and just, move guys around. Then we had Stevie that was strong as an ox. We had, all these guys that was down here just, Paul was in there too, had been there a year and just, bigger and stronger. Like I just had to learn so much. And that freshman year, man, those first couple of practices, it was not fun for me. But eventually, I started understanding different things, understanding what it took to, one, be the student athlete, be.
Oh, that's an awful picture.
That's really hard to find on the interwebs. I'm just saying. That's the best I could find.
That game was actually out here.
Who was that, Arizona?
That was Arizona. Yeah.
That was in Vegas.
Yeah, but I just remember, it just being totally different than what, people from back home assumed it was going to be. And it helped a lot for me to understand, I needed to learn a lot. I needed to understand how it is to be an adult. I was a true freshman. I remember during the season, someone asked me, man, you're a true freshman. And I had no idea what that meant. I graduated high school and was in college, and I was playing basketball. I just didn't know what that meant. So, to understand that I was young and learning different roles and different things to do, Coach Floyd was such a tyrant on being particular about the things we had to do coming off of the season that they had the year before. And all those guys that were gone, it was a lot of pressure. We didn't have a lot of success my freshman year. I had a better record my sophomore year, but that freshman year was real tough, man. Really.
Yeah, and I don't know if you realize, so before Kelvin Cato was kind of Coach Floyd's project and the one that would get the brunt of his wrath a lot of times. So, and then it kind of rolled into you, right?
Directly into me. So he had a relationship with my parents. He had the connection from Louisiana and all of that. It was a couple of times I was thinking, man, this is not the guy that recruited me. Not at all.
That's usually the way it goes, but
right.
Yeah, but Coach knew, if wherever we were going to go, it was going to be based on however Cato played or how you played. So,
Did the
It's
two
just
of
part
you
of the
have a
game.
natural kinship? Just the fact that you're from small communities now going to a larger school like Iowa State. Did you have any parallels there?
I mean, it was we never really talked about it,
Right, yeah,
honestly.
right.
Like
We were
once you
just
get,
trying to survive.
yeah, once you get there, like honestly, like a lot of the team bonding was just complaining about how long and hard the practices were, and
Yeah.
begging Mark Coberly to go talk to coach, saying
Oh
he's
my
killing
God.
us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, Clay, did
We
you
would
love practicing at Hilton just as much as Marcus did?
No.
nobody
They were,
loved
man, I'll
practicing at
tell you what,
Hilton.
they were brutal. And then once you get into winter break and
Mm,
go to it used to be called the PEB, I think it's Forker now.
Yeah.
You spend like 3 or 4 hours in there just
mhm.
literally getting beat up the whole time, and it's like it's a lot of mental toughness that you have to go through to make it through. Not just I grew up a wrestler in Morning Sun, Iowa, so they always talk about how tough, like mentally tough wrestlers are, and I had never had a wrestling practice near as tough as one of Coach Floyd's 3 to 4 hour marathons. Yeah, they
I
were they
don't
were
think those are even allowed. I mean, I'm
they
sure that you
aren't
can have as
anymore. No,
practice as many as long as
no.
you want, but you're limited on total number of hours, correct?
Yeah,
I don't think they were allowed then. We just, just happened to
yeah.
somehow,
Whatever the hour limit was for a week, we were right on top of it. I can
did I
guarantee
tell
you
you?
that.
I had not been saying
Yep.
it? But it's we used to hide the clocks because we literally did not want to know what time it was. And we get in there 2:20, 2:30-ish, and come on, it can't be one more hour left or whatever. And we look up, if you happen to see what time it was, it'd be like 4:30. And then we realized we ain't nowhere near being close.
Yep.
Nowhere near being close.
Yep. And I remember just like by the end of the season, like I would be physically drained, probably lost 10 to 15 pounds
Right.
from the start. So I've actually, like in my coaching career, I've carried that over, and we never go 2 hours. Like I want my kids fresh and feeling like they can run and jump all the time.
Right.
Not like it's a battle to get to the gym.
Right.
Well, and that was one of my questions, Clay. What are some of the things that you've learned by going to Iowa State that you've been able to translate over to your career as a coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, Coach Floyd's defensive system I've kept throughout the years. We led the state in defense in defensive points per game average for 2 years here, just a few years ago, and it was all based off of, it was exactly what he taught us. Now we've evolved and we're multiple now in our defenses, but still run some of the plays.
You score more than 40 points a game, though, right?
Yeah, not a lot, but it depends on the year.
Well, the high school scoring is a little different than college.
Yeah, 8 quarters and
right,
and yeah, but still run some of the plays. I'll call or text JC Holloway. Hey, what you remember this play? Like, how did we run that? And JC will remember it like that. So, yeah. So yeah, I bring quite a bit back actually from those years.
So you went from Coach Orr to Coach Floyd. Did you play at all under Coach Eustace?
I did 1 year. Yeah, it was a different year. Yeah, like and he was, I don't know how to put this nicely. He was, I would say, planning for the future at that point. So maybe a couple of us older guys didn't really get the run that we had before. Kind of sucked, but we battled through it and whatnot, but just try to be there for the other guys on the team. But I got a little bit of run, but not anything what I was hoping for.
Can you share the importance that role players have? And I really saw you as the ultimate team role player that would come in, bang the boards, just play tough, gritty defense against, high caliber athletes. And while you weren't like this elite athletically, you just had this sort of hardness about you that no one was going to beat you without a true battle. And you just had this toughness about you. Can you share with the audience a little bit about the need for players like that helps the team overall?
Yeah. You know, really, it started with conversations with Coach Floyd about how I was going to see the floor. The different ways I could help this team. So I actually took like a lot of pride in trying to get, Dedrick open, setting really physical screens, getting him open. If you pull up tapes of, some of those old games, I'm kind of just like flying around, finding Dedrick's guy all the time, putting a body on him. Now I probably could have been called for a gazillion moving screens, but they just didn't call them back then. So, and then doing the dirty work on defense, rebounding, that was my main thing. That was, what I was pretty good at. I think I was third in conference my junior year, rebounding at 8 a game or something like that. But just being physical, and then defensively, like, I'm 6'8", a lot of times I'd be guarding 6'10" to 7 footers. But it was all about outworking them, moving your feet and positioning. And then once you were body to body, fighting them. So just not making anything easy. And, really, like, those first couple of years, we only played 6 guys for the most part. Once Stevie got comfortable, maybe 7. So like a guy like me was going to get time because Cato wasn't capable of, with his gas tank of playing more than 20, 25 minutes. So there had to be somebody come in there to bang with those big guys. And JC and Dedrick never left the court. So yeah, like just somebody that come in, spot minutes, and really you don't see production fall off. You might not get as many buckets, but maybe defensively and rebounding goes up a notch, and then just provide energy and being a good teammate to the other guys. It can, definitely flip a game quick, or continue on a good roll.
Not sure if you saw earlier in the week, but Coach Stacy visited one of the men's practices and spent a day with the guys. But do you follow much of this year's team, and do you see any similarities? In specifically, like, I think of a lot of guys on TJ's teams, he gets them to buy in with a specific role.
Yeah.
He says, I want you to be really good at this. And he puts all those pieces together and has immediate success.
Yeah, definitely see. Especially in the big man group, you could say Mark Jefferson's kind of like Marcus, right? Like, you can back people down, big, strong body, can shoot at some, and then you got and then you got all these other guys that are big physical rebounders. Will throw it down from the dunker spot. I don't know, like, if any of the new big guys can step out to 3. We definitely couldn't back in our day, but yeah, it actually looks a lot like our team back in the day. And then I'm excited to see some of these freshman guards. I've heard really good things about them. We know what Taman can do, and Nate and those guys. So, but if we can get something from some of those freshman guards, it'll be really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think we get that opportunity with these exhibition games because it looks like Taman will likely not play, which is probably a good thing, because then you do get to see like Killian Torrey play and Bateman play early against high caliber. It's not like they're playing what were those traveling teams that used to play in the 90s?
Oh,
the Marathon Oil.
Marathon Oil. Yeah. Not saying that they were a bad
they were
group,
terrible.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, I had to bang with Paul Mokeski. You remember that name?
I do. So now we get, they get that opportunity to go up against top programs in the country. And we're not, we're talking top 5, top 10 between Creighton and Northwestern. So
Yeah.
it'll be a good early test without Taman having to come in and spell them, and they get a chance to show their stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Two great programs there. So I wish we could like see it and, get a box score and all that good stuff about how it went down. I heard some rumblings about how Iowa's went with St. Louis today, but yeah, those are all, huge opportunities for those young guys to get better and see where they really are.
Well, Klay, it's been a joy to have you on. We're going to go to a commercial break, but we told you we'd keep you to 30 minutes. So we appreciate your time and reminiscing with Marcus here about the good old days back in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
Yes,
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I was late 90s.
Late 90s, yeah. I feel like I was like the whole era of the 90s.
Good seeing you,
Marcus,
brother.
we got to
Appreciate
get
you
together
coming on.
sometime again, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. You got my number. Hit me anytime, man.
Yep, definitely.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it,
We'll
guys.
we'll hear a word from our sponsor, and we'll come back on the other side with Marcus.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
Chamberry Boulevard.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat road. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go up there. I've been meaning to, and next Saturday may be a good weekend with the football bye week coming up. Hey, before we get too far into it, I wanted to pull this up. So Newton High School in Newton, Iowa, is participating in they're up for $1 million prize that's going to be awarded by T-Mobile as a part of a big promotion called Friday Night 5G Lights. And it's going to be used to upgrade Newton's football facilities. Newton is the only school in Iowa that's participating in this. And we as fans, we can go in, follow the QR code, and we have a chance to vote once per day off of each email address that you do. So if you have multiple email addresses, you can vote multiple times, but only one a day per email address. And it would be really cool if Newton can win. So if you can, follow the QR code, and maybe we can get Chris Shipley to upload the link at some point. I'm not quite certain how to do that. But we've got until I think Friday, is it Thursday or Friday, the 24th. I have to look at my dates on that. I may be off. But it is the 24th. Newton, as of tonight, was in 7th place. So if we can help out, I'm sure that would be much appreciated to be able to get Newton $1 million in upgrades to their football facilities. So if you can do that, there's no money, no costs involved, not asking you to give over your third child or any other child, but go ahead and just click that link and please vote for Newton High School. All right. So, hey, back to basketball if we could. So they had media day, and some of the takeaways that I found really fascinating is there seems to be an emphasis on Joshua Jefferson, which I know you love his game. In fact, I think he loves your game too because he's changing his number to number 5. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that I love it. And one of the things that here's a quote from Joshua, but he said he's just trying to do everything that he can and to make the defense miserable, basically. I love that quote. My job is to make the defense miserable.
Yeah, I love being the guy that had guys thinking, "Damn, we got Pfizer tonight. I got Pfizer tonight." That was a big thing for me. So, I absolutely would love to see him do great things in that number. Take us as far as and beyond what I did in my last year, and have a lot of success. So, let's go.
Well, I love it. Another thing that came out during men's media day, actually, two things I found interesting. Number one, I'm finding it intriguing that TJ has been having them do MMA workouts once a week.
What part of the workouts, though?
I'm not sure what part, but it's just there's some MMA stuff that they're doing to help get them more agile and increase their
As long as they're
speed and
not
quickness.
MMA and each other and going through workouts,
Well,
what
well,
up, B?
I don't know that. Did you guys see Nate Heisey's picture on social media? So
Oh,
this is kind of hard, but he's got a big old Band-Aid above his eyeball there.
that could
So
be just practice. That could be
I'm
just practice.
I'm sure it was practice.
But if you start to see some cauliflower here, there's something a little different going on.
Something different.
Something different going on.
They switching sports then.
Right.
And then the other item that I found somewhat interesting is that I'm not sure if it's a practice or what it was, but TJ either had a printout or posted it up on a board, and he said, "Here's how much everybody on the team is making." Of course, with the new rules, players are now allowed to be paid compensation, and he just put it out there and said, "If you have a problem with that, there's a door, but I'm telling you, here's what everybody's making." So we're all on the same page. Now let's focus on basketball. I thought that was pretty neat. What?
Well, there's no different than the NBA. And I mean, you can look up, you can go to hoopshype.com and see how much a player is making if you really want to get technical with it. I know in collegiate sports that's new, but I mean, you are dealing with guys like in the NBA that are making a league minimum, and you got guys that's making 58, 60 million. So that just is what it is. So if you have an issue and a problem with that, you either get better and get your dollars up, or like Coach say, hit the door.
That's it.
Brent, are they doing that on the football side, or have you seen that or heard anything about KU doing something similar? In a way, I guess it's a new reality, so we probably should be getting used to it. And I suppose there's really nothing to hide, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, obviously the kids talk amongst themselves. I don't know if they're, they got like a list of all the guys, because I think paying, 60, 70 guys is a whole lot different than paying, 15, 20. So this is a whole lot shorter, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think it's good to get it out the way. But, just like Marcus said, we know there are some guys that are clearly going to be paid more. I mean, it just is what it is for business. If you're not the guy selling jerseys or putting butts in the seats, you got to kind of be happy with a check, and you just, obviously work yourself to get better. But it is what it is. Play ball.
But both of you are good with it, putting everyone's amount up on a board and saying it is what it is.
I mean, it's for me, it's I look at it as whatever the coach decides to do. Okay, it is what it is. Because like Brent said, I mean, you can get one, they're going to speak among and talk amongst each other. And two, you can get this information from wherever you want to get the information from if you need it, if needed it. Or if you needed to get the information, you can get it from it if you wanted it. So, I mean, it really don't matter at this point. It's no secret. It's not like somebody's getting paid under the table and, he may be getting X, Y, and Z. If anything, it's probably keeping guys honest because guys probably be saying, I'm getting $1 million, he, probably getting 20,000 or some crazy thing. But it is what it is. Every program is different. If that's what he wants to do to, keep all of the BS down, then so be it.
And Brent, welcome back. We missed you. Would you like to share? Or can I share what you were doing today?
Oh yeah, we coached the young 7th grade fellas to a little championship today.
Easy work.
You won a world championship, right? Can we say that?
To them, yeah, for sure. Now it was it's always cool to see like the growth in kids from like week 1 to the end of the season, but the hype that was around the team that we played, this Roosevelt team. I mean, and when I tell you they had some huge kids, there was a kid that was 6'3", 250. And I kid you not, he's in the 7th grade. Huge. I was like,
why? High school.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, why you in pants? Like, check his birth certificate because this ain't right. But when I tell you, we don't have a bunch of big dudes, but I was like, we're gonna put y'all in position, and I was. I almost got kicked out the game early on because the ref calling some nonsense. But I was like, man, I just wanted the kids to know too. Like, I don't care who it is. Nobody's gonna oppose you. I'm rocking with you. We're gonna rock and roll. So, and my little dude did his thing today too. So he got a lot better today too. I was super proud of him because he was nervous, all the kids are so big, and I was like, so what? Like, we're gonna punch him in the mouth and see what happens. Right. And they legit punched them dudes in the mouth over and over, and they didn't know what to do, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So
they'll feel so good tomorrow.
School. Man, yeah, oh yeah, because nobody, our other two teams got blew out. Like one team lost 27-0, the other one was like 42-6. And we beat them 7-6. This team averages 38 points a game.
Nice.
They scored right at the end of the game, and so big stop with 2-point on the 2-point conversion to win the ball game. So it was dope. Defense wins championship, baby. That's it.
World champs. Congratulations. That's really cool.
Man, yeah, appreciate it.
I guess we're at that point.
Put your salary up on the wall.
Right. Yeah. Big old goose egg. Time, baby.
You have the
exact same, right?
I thought you might have your trophy with you.
Oh no, that's we had to give that away real quick. Take your pictures, keep it moving, man. But all good, man. Wouldn't trade it for nothing. It was good. It was dope for the kids.
So now you move into what's the next part of the season now that you've won the title? Are you now 7-7 or in travel? What's your schedule?
We're doing so we got All-Stars coming up. So the kids will play their All-Star game. So we got like 2 weeks of practice, and then there's like this I want to say like a round robin tournament, but they'll play like 3 games in 2 days. So we got 2 weeks of practice, and then they'll play like 3 games in 2 days, man, and that'll be it for me until maybe the spring or so.
I can't imagine playing 2 games in 3 days like football. That's
it's
to be 7th grader, I guess. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bigger team now because when we played, our teams can be over like 20, 22 kids, so it's pretty much like 11 on each side. Now we get like a bigger roster, so we'll be able to, kind of move them around a little bit. But I'm about winning, so everybody's going to be playing.
Well, at least someone's won a championship. This was a horrible weekend for football if you're a Cowboys fan and a Cyclone fan. So I feel like a broken record. Where do we go from here? That was a bad loss to Colorado. And I looked at some of the statistics. The numbers don't really show the score was as bad as it was. Like we threw the ball, we ran the ball. It just felt like we didn't make plays when we needed to make a play. And that damn kicking game continues to haunt us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's that the injuries, man. I don't know what it is, and they are kind of continuing to plague us a little bit. But I think I was listening to something Matt Campbell said, and he was just talking about the details and how, like on the back end, it's very rare that you see that many mistakes from the guys. Like the guys are being left open. Like I know speed is the biggest, like and I know speed is the biggest neutralizer, but to see guys that wide open against our defense is like rare. So we're missing something, and I know we lost our top, 2 corners, whatever, but it's next man up, right? So we still got to step up and make plays. But it's some inner working things that we got to do, and I'm sure Campbell's gonna spend a lot of time cleaning that up. But
of course, I had that wedding last night or late yesterday, so I missed most of the game and had to rewatch it. And you guys just said don't watch it at all. I did. I watched all the second half, a little bit of the latter part of the second quarter. When we went down to score at halftime, I thought, okay, it's 10-7. We haven't played terribly well. We at least have the lead, and then you come out at halftime and the announcers are saying, Campbell coach teams are 19-0 when leading at half on the road. I thought, that's a pretty good stat. I feel pretty good. And then Colorado throws first play, long pass for a touchdown, and all of a sudden it felt like, well, that was halftime right there. As soon as they scored, I thought, oh, the script just flipped.
Yeah. I didn't know who I was really watching, man. When I tell you I was so confused about the back end, I haven't seen a bust like that in a very long time. So I don't know who's supposed to be communicating. It's not, but that was surprising to me. That was surprising.
And I have a question. Where are the tight ends at? That coming into the season, that was our strength, right? That it felt like we could match up 2, 3, even 4 tight ends at any time and just create mismatches across the field. It doesn't feel like we've sort of forgotten the tight end position.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. Maybe that wasn't in the game plan or what. I'm not sure, but you're right. I didn't notice a lot. And the shots they did take, the one bad ball on the PI that Rocco threw on the interception, that was a clear miss PI, but it was also a very bad, poorly thrown ball by Rocco too. So I don't know, man. We were not clicking, and sometimes maybe we got to get out of the top 25 to start playing ball again.
Right, that's what I felt like.
It's damn near the curse of the top 25. Like you want us to be there, but it's like until we drop out, we start to play our best ball once we get out of it again. So hopefully this is a wake up call.
See what Texas just did to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Although Texas, I think, just fell down a couple spots out of the 25. We're like 36, 37, something awful. We're not even
I didn't know
anywhere
it fell
close.
that far.
Oh, it's far. We're below Iowa now, if that tells you anything.
Wow.
Man.
I didn't know it was that far.
So after the game, let me go back first. Have we heard anything from the Big 12 or referees at all to explain why that flag was picked up? That was a pretty consequential pickup at that point in the game, because at least if they do call it, which I can see why they wouldn't, because it was such a poorly thrown ball. There was no way. If he hadn't been, if he was all by himself, he's not getting to that ball. It's still going to be an interception. And maybe that's how the referee saw it. I wish we had more of an explanation behind that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, do they, even if the player is not there and gets the interception and the infraction occurs, do they still like throw the flag because it occurred? I mean, say that the player wasn't there for the interception and the ball was in the vicinity and the foul happened. Do you throw the flag or do you not throw the flag? That's my thing. The fact that it was picked off, we don't know where the ball was going. We can say whatever, but having the interception occur and you picking up the flag, which would have gave us a reset of downs, and as close as we were, it was inevitable we were going to get some points off of that, but we got nothing.
Well, and the thing is that you will see flags thrown when the ball is intended towards one half of the field and the PI occurred on the other half. So clearly in those cases, they'll still call it and it's pass interference and you keep the ball. Now, in this case, it happened right in front, right where he's throwing the ball.
Right.
And so you would think that they would have kept the flag, called the interference. Instead, they picked it up. Now, again, you might as well have thrown it out of bounds. He was never going to catch it. So I just wish we had some sort of explanation at the end of the game. And it seems like every time this happens, it happens to Iowa State. I can remember 2017, 18, whatever it was, where there was a couple of flags. Alan Lazard was playing at that time. I think Hakeem Butler was playing, and there were flags thrown in that game that got picked up against Kansas State that would have resulted in us progressing down the field and scoring. So it seems like it happens to Iowa State every year, and it gets frustrating. I just wish that we had some sort of explanation by the league, by the officials at the end of the game.
Well, you can't explain that when it looks that bad. So I guess the best thing is to stay away and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Campbell was saying it. I think we all saw him on the sidelines. He would not shut up about it, and I don't blame him.
I mean, I was like watching it, like, okay, good, okay, we got at least that's PI. Like I gotten up from the couch and walked in the kitchen, and then here it was picked up. Like, what? There's no way. And then it was an interception. I can see it was picked up and it was a loss of downs, or maybe we didn't score the touchdown, but it was an interception. I'm like, okay, they picked it off, but it's a PI. We good. Nope.
Yeah, that definitely was they shouldn't have picked that up, man. That was clear cut. And shit, I wish they could throw a flag for it for a review. Just to make sure they caught that. That was a clear cut PI, man. You can't wrap the guy up. I don't care if the ball is thrown short. It's a PI. Like you said, if it happened across the field, same thing. You're impeding his progress. What's the difference?
One thing I don't like it being certain things that you can challenge. If I got a challenge as well, let me challenge everything. If I think a wasp flew and knocked the ball down, and let me challenge whatever it is that I want to challenge. Because I mean, what's the reason I got this challenge flag for then? If you're not going to only let me challenge certain things, I mean, you go to the booth and you stay in the booth for 7 to 8 minutes anyway. So what's the difference? They don't never come out of that booth, in ample time. It doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just wish that they would explain after the fact. I mean, even if it's after the game, whether it's a press conference or I just wish we had some sort of explanation from the league. And maybe they'll issue something tomorrow. Who knows? And then Rocco after the game, I don't know if you saw his post game, but really emotional. I mean, he's really taken this one on his shoulders. And I think Coach Campbell pointed fingers at himself as well, not having the team ready. I look at the statistics and I think they should have won this game. They just did not make the plays when they needed to.
Yeah. It was a high like anticipated game for Colorado. The atmosphere is, of course, it's crazy buzz behind it. Coach Sanders just had surgery and was at practice the next day, that coaching that game. So it was one of those dangerous, perfect storms for them. But I think the biggest thing for me is, like, I didn't know that we were that depleted injury-wise, and that takes a toll. We've talked about the kicking game. I mean, even they said what the kicker that we have now is a walk-on, and he got injured. Like, it is so much, and like man, you don't think about how big it is, but like we have really gotten to the point like the NFL to where okay, we're close. If we can't move it, at least we're gonna get 3 points out of this. We can get a stop, and if we can't move it again and get close enough, now we got 6. That's almost that's a touchdown and points. So we're stacking points. We haven't been able to stack those 3, 6, 9 here and there, and that's pretty much the difference. I mean, we lost by 8 in Cincinnati, and lost the other night. So the games are a lot closer than what we're normally used to it being, but we're not able to put the points on the board we used to.
Well, if a team has ever needed a bye week, it's this team and it's this week. I mean, here's an opportunity to sort of do a reset defensively. We talked last week. I was hoping that we would see a drastic improvement defensively between week 1 and week 2 of this new look defense with all the new guys coming in and out. But now it just feels like there's a potential. I hate to say it, but there's a potential for this season to go into a tailspin real quick if we don't get things fixed. Now, of all the coaches, I don't think that'll happen because I think Coach Campbell, the coaching staff, and these players have tremendous amount of resiliency. But it is something that is a cause for concern that, we've got to come out. We've got 2 home games back to back against 2 teams that last year tied with us for the league. It was us in Arizona that played in the Big 12 championship game, but it was BYU that was there. It was Colorado that was there. We've already gone to Colorado and have lost. Now we play BYU at home. Then we follow that up with a game at home against Arizona State. Like these are really important games that we have coming up these next 2 weeks following the bye.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you get it on the head. We gotta hope we come back a little bit healthier than before. But I don't know the status on any of these guys either. I think that's
our 2 cornerbacks tore the ACLs, didn't they?
Oh, so they're definitely done.
Yeah, Cooper and Jontez Williams are both out, and hopefully, knock on wood, Kyle Conradi can make a return back. We shouldn't be going for it all the time on 4th down when we have an opportunity to kick a field goal. But coaches feel like that's the best option. That's the best option. Now,
that's the only option.
The 310-pound offensive lineman, he did a nice job on his kickoff.
He did.
He did. That was a nice kick.
He did. Yeah, I just feel like one of these small town Iowa kids has to have a little bit of kicking experience, man. We can kind of hopefully lean on a little bit.
That was the walk on before him, man. He got injured. He got injured. Like, come on now.
Man.
Right, that was Chase Smith. Now, I think he was still able to come in and kick extra points, but I don't think
he did.
Yeah, he did something to his foot and they didn't want to make him kick. But it makes a big difference when you can come out and kick a 63-yard or 55-yard field goal from basically midfield versus having to go for it all the time. It just, at least you get points up on the board. You feel like you've got a successful drive. You can get some momentum, and that just kills your offense when you have to go for it.
That's what we miss.
Get it. And I can't tell you how many times it was like 3rd and 12. It was always 3rd and 12. It felt like the entire game. Oh.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things definitely pick up.
All right, fellas, my dogs are going nuts. So that's my sign. I probably need to exit out and exit the basement before they tear my house up. So anything else we wanted to add before we close the show for the night?
Man.
Hopefully we get out this tailspin that we've been in, and I'm still gonna have on my hat. I'm still out in the street pulling for.
I would have if I just got in for the game. Otherwise, I would. But we got a week, so I'm sure we'll bounce back the right way. I got all the faith in them, and so we'll come back on top and take care of business on the 25th. So,
well, that's just it, Brent. These teams are not the teams of old. These are teams that still have passion, that have
Yeah.
very good coaches. The players have a lot of pride. Again, we were just in the Big 12 championship game last year. We beat what is now the number 2 team in the country in Miami. I mean, so we still have a lot to play for. It doesn't sound like we're going to be in the Big 12 title game, but there's still a lot of season left to play. That these players, they want to play, they want to win, and I expect them to come out, and I would not be surprised if they win the rest of their games. I'm not saying it'll happen, but I would not be surprised.
Yeah. We got 5 more, right? That's that 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got 5 more. We good to go.
Brent, Brent, we're not going to get that 11-1 mark that you predicted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We got to keep hope alive, though. You know what I'm saying?
We still can be 10-2, maybe 9-3. I hope nothing worse than that, but it's we got to turn the season around pretty quick. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute privilege, and I'm glad everyone was able to join us. And thank you to our guest, Klay Edwards, who joined us for the first half of the show. And listen to prior podcasts that we've had. We've had Ellis Hobbs in the past. 2 weeks ago, we had Marcel Howard. So we got a little basketball tonight. We've had a couple of football. Of course, we've got the exhibition game coming up on Friday. So be on the lookout on the social media about if there's going to be an opportunity for us as fans to watch it. And certainly, I'm sure there will be some highlight tape out there that some of the media will get a hold of. We'll have a chance to digest and enjoy as well. So again, remember our sponsors who, without them, there would be no us. So thank you to Revelton Distilling and Styled by JJ Boutique. And of course, our studio sponsor, Andrew Downs and AKC Marketing. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Go Cyclone.
Baby.
There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Track shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Track shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. CYCLONES, Cyclone Nation, we're the best.